All right, what's going on, guys? G Funky Boxing is back. Post fight style. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell. Share this all around your social media, guys. All right. Let me share this on my social media while I'm saying that. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in, guys. All right. What a fight, man. And look, Regis Prograis gets the job done in 11 rounds. He gets a stoppage of Jose Zepeda and becomes the new WBC super lightweight champion. All right, let's give Regis a hand, guys. Let's give him a hand. He goes into enemy territory and gets the win. This is not the first time he's had to go into someone's backyard and get the job done. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that because he did lose to Josh Taylor. But I felt he won that fight. I actually scored it for him, and he, unfortunately, he didn't get it. But here he gets his victory, and congratulations to him. And as far as Chon Cepeda goes, I mean, man, it's going to be a tough road for him to come back from this. Not going to lie. Not going to lie. I want to give some credit here to this guy. He came to my prediction video after I made it and left a big, long paragraph, left an essay under the comment section. But yeah, you were right, man. You were right. And I was wrong. I got no problem saying that. I told you guys I was going off a good instinct, but I was wrong. So hey. I get this one wrong, but hey, it won't be the first time. It won't be the first time, you guys. Let's see. Dimitri says, damn, Zepeda got cooked like a dish of gumbo. Look, I'll say this, man. Let's see. Chauncey says, called late stoppage by Regis, possible fight of the year. It wasn't fight of the year, but great fight nonetheless. You know what? I agree with you, man. And hey, good stuff on the pick, man. You did say Regis was going to win late. I predicted a late knockout from Zepeda because I thought that because Regis was going to be winning rounds, right? It was kind of going the way that I was expecting it to go, right? Regis was going to be, like I told you guys, when he's in the center of the ring, he's got that nice active guard, looking for openings, looking for reactions, and looking to counter. I mean, he's a tough guy to beat when he's in the center of the ring working like that. And Zepeda is not the type of guy to be aggressive, to come forward and try to walk you down, right? And the commentators were trying to say that, and I'm like, have you guys ever seen Zepeda fight? Like, this is kind of embarrassing, to be quite honest with you. But look, it was kind of look. I scored. I'm gonna give you guys my scorecard. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, I had it at the time of the stoppage after 10 rounds. I had Regis up 7 rounds to 3. The rounds that I gave Zepeda was round 1. I gave him round 6. I had that marked as a swing round. I felt like Regis took that round off, to be quite honest with you. And even with him taking that round off, I still felt like it was a really close round. Because Zepeda just, again, he's not the type of guy to come in and work in off the front foot. He's not a pressure type fighter. So even with Regis taking that round off, he still made it very close. Then I gave Zepeda round. Actually, I still gave that round to. I'm sorry, my mistake, guys. Round 6, I still gave it to Regis, but I thought it was a swing round. My mistake. The other round I gave to Zepeda was round 7. I feel like he did land some nice right jabs and a few combinations towards the end of that round, which was a close round. The next 2 rounds I gave to Regis Prograis, 8, 9. Round 10, I think, was Zepeda's best round. A little bit of urgency, right? Started to let his hands go a little bit more. And I felt like he was actually winning the 11th round up until he got caught and got hurt. And I want to say this. My guy Ray Corona was the referee. You guys know I had Ray Corona on before, but I disagree with the stoppage. And the reason why I say that is because Zepeda is a guy that's known for going down and getting back up and fighting hard, and he wasn't given the opportunity. Now, look, obviously he got hurt. He went down. I felt like Ray should have given him an 8 count. and giving him at least one more opportunity. Now, if I was the referee, right, I would have given him one more opportunity. If Regis drops him again in the same round, then I'm stopping it. At that point, I was like, okay, you know what, that's it. Now I'm gonna stop it. Um, but I felt like Chon could have got up and fought. Who knows what would have happened? But it's not gonna overturn the decision of Ray Corona, but I am going to ask him about that. You know, because I feel like with a guy who's got a history like that, you have to at least give him one chance, especially in a championship fight. Yeah, what's going on, DJ Mexicano de Tejas? Hey, you missed a fight. Well, look, I'll say this. I want to address Chauncey's um comment here. We said it wasn't fight of the year, but a great fight nonetheless. Now, there's going to be some people who think that um Regis won every round and that he beat the fuck out of him. Like, we're going to get those guys, right? I mean, look, Regis, his nose wasn't bleeding and his whole right side wasn't swelled up for nothing. He was getting hit with some shots in there too. And you heard what he said after the fight. He said, man, this dude gave me the toughest fight I ever had. you know? Now, again, in a fight, you have to score rounds. Okay. And I'm not trying to say that Zepeda was winning rounds, right? I only gave him 3 out of 10 complete rounds that I gave him. So he was down big. Yet you have Regis Prograis saying, this dude gave me the toughest fight of my life. Yes, Demetrio says, I also believe Chon could have gotten up and just held. In my opinion, I think he would have fought. I think he's got the instinct to fight when he's hurt. Kind of like how Marquez used to fight, right? When he would get hurt, he would fight back. He would fight back, and unfortunately for him, he just wasn't given the opportunity to continue fighting. And I'm interested to hear Ray's what I'm going to hear from him. Maybe we'll get him on. I'll see what I can do. I can't guarantee it. Let's see here. Chauncey says, Zepeda buzz Regis bad. I believe the round before that. Yeah. And I think he hurt him too. I think in like round 3, I want to say, like towards the middle end of the fight. Regis did a little dance with the legs, but recovered quickly. I think it was just a quick thing. What's going on to Team Batman Boxing? It's a superb performance from Regis. Superb rhythm all night, controlled and dominated. Loved the variations of the jab and what finish. Masterful display. Yeah, his jab is really good, man. He's got a real nice up jab that he throws. And again, that active guard is really, really good, man. Really, really good. And when he's got it going in the center of the ring, he's a tough guy to beat. No doubt about it. JC GB says Regis was going life and death. There was close rounds in the fight, man. I mean, I felt like Regis was winning. Again, I gave him 7 of the 10. Let's see. I love Regis' movement all night. No, when he's in the middle of the ring, man, he's tough to beat. When I told you guys in my prediction where he's moving his hands up and down, shifting his weight to the front foot to back foot, active guard, he's tough, man. Really tough to beat, And Zepeda found that out tonight, and that's really what you got to do. I was expecting Regis to control the fight early, we winning round after round after round, and then I was expecting him to open up and get more aggressive, and then that's when I felt like Zepeda was going to have his opportunities because he's better counterpunching, right? And that's why guys like Ray Mancini, I mean, him and Ray Flores, I think the guy's name who was doing the play-by-play, they're like saying Zepeda's got to get on the inside and he's got to throw punches. He's got to let it all hang out like that. Have you guys seen Zepeda fight? Like, that's not how he fights, That's just not how he fights. Dude, he's a natural counter punch guy. And the problem is tonight, again, he was in there with someone with quicker hand speed, better footwork. And that was the problem. Just couldn't keep up with him. And Regis did a good job in the first 8 rounds, I would say. of staying disciplined and not getting over aggressive and not putting himself in situations to get countered. You know what I'm saying? And that's why he was winning so many rounds. And that's why he had such a big lead. And again, when he started to open up later in the fight, because remember what his corner said going into round 10? His corner told him, look, we don't know if you're winning this fight. So we need these 3 rounds, you know? And round 10 was a round that I felt was a clear round for Zepeda. And I felt like he did buzz Regis in that round. You know, when you open up, is when you give Jose Zepeda his opportunities to do something. Let's see. I know it's early, but what do you think about Regis versus Jose Ramirez? I think it's a good fight, man. Really good fight. Really damn good fight. And that could possibly happen next. Or wait a minute. No, wait, Teofimo's in the eliminator, right? For the WBC. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Jose Ramirez is gonna get an opportunity, at least next. I don't know. He's coming off of a win and also getting married. But he did beat Jose Sniper Petraza in his last fight earlier this year. But that's a good fight, man. I always felt like I always felt like it was a competitive. It's going to be a competitive fight, you know. Um. So yeah. Anyways, guys, if anybody wants to call in, phone lines are going to be open right now. There we go. All right. 916-572-1020. If anybody wants to call in, if you guys want to give me the "I told you so," now is your opportunity. If you want to, you know, that's a part of the game. You know, so I was dead wrong on this one, guys. Dead wrong. And hey, it is what it is, man. I always come back and you know, take my medicine, man. Right. And that's what makes this fun. You know, that's what makes coming on here and giving predictions and talking with you guys. That's what makes this really, really fun to do, because you know, we could, you know, go back and forth. Like I said, I'm not gonna get every pick right, you know, you're not gonna get every pick right. And hey, shit happens, man. But we come back and we talk. Hey, what's going on to Next Level Boxing Talk? Yeah, yeah, I saw your prediction. I know you was rolling with Zepeda too. Yeah, it comes up short, man. So since you're here, I guess I got to give you the horn too. There we go. We was wrong on that, man. But if you want to call in, the numbers on the screen, man. Shoot the call. I mean, it's all good, bro. I'm gonna be here for about another 30 minutes or so. What's going on to Major Key in the house? What's up, brother? Appreciate you guys being here. Again, don't forget to hit the like for me. And if you're new watching this, subscribe to the channel. Yeah, you know, I just thought it was hilarious to hear Ray Mancini and Ray Flores talking about Zepeda needs to get on the inside. Like, this dude is not an inside fighter. Like, what do you guys what the hell? Like, did these guys do any homework on these fighters, or did they just did Marv Nation just say, hey, you know what? I want Ray Mancini and Ray Flores to call a fight and you know, last minute or something. I don't know, but it's, to me, it sounded like they just did no kind of homework on this guy. None. You know, I felt like my prediction, other than of course picking Zepeda to win by knockout, like I said, I felt like he was going to catch him with something when Regis got aggressive, and I did feel like he was going to be winning rounds, and he was. Again, I had it 7-3 going into that last round, and again, I felt like Ray should have given him at least one more opportunity, because Zepeda's got that history of getting hurt, going down, and getting back up and making things happen. Now, I'm not saying that he would have made something happen here, not by any means at all, but he's known for that. You know, if it was me, I would have given him an 8 count right there. You know, if he would have got up, legs are fine. If he would have responded to what I asked him, right? Like, give me your gloves, move this way, move that way. That's usually what they do here in California. If he does all that, give him one more opportunity. But if Regis puts him down again in round 11, then I'd stop it at that point. Then I would say, okay, that's enough. You're done. But I do feel like he was a little quick on the trigger there, a little bit of a hair trigger there for my guy Ray Corona, at least in my opinion. Um, I know a lot of people disagree with his stoppage of Edwin de los Santos in El Rayo Valenzuela. Um, I feel like Valenzuela was much more hurt. He had already went down, I think, twice up until that last one. Actually, he didn't go down the last time. He was getting hit. And every time he was getting hit, he was getting wobbled. His legs were shaky. Uh, so it was a little bit different than this situation. Zepeda went down, and like I felt like he was looking at Ray, and I don't know if he said anything to him, but I would have given him an 8 count. And obviously if he decides to stay down, obviously the fight's over. But I felt like he would have got up after 8 and would have let the hands go because he was starting to do that, right? Like I felt like he clearly won round 10. Um, and look, he did he was hitting Regis with some shit, man. Regis was marked up, you know? I mean, again, that doesn't mean he was winning the rounds, but he was landing punches and you heard the respect, man. Like that's I gotta give Regis some man. I love hearing that, man. I love hearing that after a fight and just sports in general, when the winner gives the loser the credit that they deserve. And he said, "Look, man, I don't want you to stop fighting because I feel like you could be a world champion, man. Like you gave me the hardest fight I've ever had." You know? I know that the fanboys out there were probably punching air when they heard Regis say that. Like, what the fuck, man? Hey, give this guy some how you gonna give this guy some credit? You don't make me look bad now. That's why I laugh at all this rah-rah shit that these fans do today. I just laugh at it, man. Because and again, that's another thing. You could tell that a lot of these guys, they've never competed for a thing in their life. They don't know what it's like, you know? They don't know what it's like, and they don't know the mutual respect that athletes have for each other, especially at this level. And again, in a fight that was one-sided as far as the scorecards go, you had the guy who won the fight by a knockout say that, hey, this dude gave me the hardest fight of my life. Lennox was best. What's going on, brother? Thanks for joining. He says, I didn't see, but Regis has always looked elite to me. Well, he's back. He's a champion again, man. 2-time champion. He gets a stoppage over Jose Chon Zepeda in 11 rounds. Let's read here. So I agree, but when they can't cry about fights going too long and ended up in tragedy, better safe than sorry. And Zepeda really went down from accumulation of punches suffered throughout the fight and exhaustion. No, I mean I get it, man. I'm just saying because he has a history of going down and getting up and fighting hard. I would have at least given him just one more opportunity. And if I would have seen something bad happen, like if he goes down, there's no doubt about it. Stop it. If he goes down one more time, then stop it. Um, but hey, it is what it is, man. You know. Let's see, boxing with Frank. What's going on, bro? He says Zepeda did what I expected he would do, which was coast. Got to give Rougarou his props. He closed the show. Absolutely, absolutely. Was it a competitive fight? I didn't get to watch. As far as rounds go, I would say no. I haven't seen the official cards yet. Usually those things appear on social media a few minutes or 20, 30 minutes or so after the fight. So I don't know what the official scorecards were. My scorecard, I had given Regis 7 of the 10 rounds at the time of the stoppage. Obviously, if it goes to 12, he was going to get the 11th plus an extra point. So yeah, he was well on his way to win a wide decision on my card, which is what I kind of expected. Let's see. Jose Ramirez is now on notice because he's got a choice. Does he step to Regis or does he go the WBO route? I don't know. It's a good question because isn't the Teofimo and Sandro Martin fight an eliminator for the WBC? Because I mean that's what I remember. So I would assume that the winner of that fight is going to fight Regis Prograis for the WBC strap. And hopefully Regis gets himself a fight in between, because we're gonna get that fight coming up here in a couple weeks, in 2 weeks actually, and we'll see what they do with Regis. He's hasn't been the most active guy, and look, Zepeda himself, dude, fought one what not even a full round in over a year, and that's something that I should have taken into account. You know, that was my mistake, but I just felt like, because I mean, I'll be honest with you, I don't know if it would have made much of a difference if he would have had another fight, because this is the way that Zepeda fights, man. He's a counterpuncher. He's a natural counterpunch guy. He doesn't like to go on the front foot. That's why he had such a bad fight with Hank Lundy, because Lundy stayed disciplined in that fight. He didn't get over aggressive and give Zepeda opportunities to land a big left hand, right? When guys get over aggressive, that's when we see him landing those big lefts, right? Like the Moranchik fight, like Josue Vargas. Josue Vargas came out super aggressive and got clipped early, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So with a guy like that, you don't want to really get aggressive, because then you're giving him his best opportunity. And Regis did a good job of that for the first 8 rounds, in my opinion. 8 to 9 rounds, he stayed very calm and stuck to the game plan. Didn't get over aggressive. Picked his shots well. And then again, going into the 10th round, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little excited when I heard his corner say, "Hey, you might not be winning this fight. Let's go get these last 3." And I'm thinking, okay, now he's gonna give Zepeda opportunity. He's gonna get more aggressive, and that's when he's gonna have an opportunity to clip him with something. But that didn't happen. Unfortunately, for my prediction, it did not happen. All right, and that's why I'm back here, and you're hearing this. But I appreciate you guys being here, man. Let's see. Chauncey says, personally, I wasn't tripping on the pay-per-view. I do wish it was more in the $29.99 to $34.99 range, but I wonder what the numbers are going to be. I mean, probably not a lot, man. I'm just gonna be honest with you. And I was a little disappointed in the crowd there, because they had a lot of local kids fighting. The Vargas boys are from Southern California. Ruben Torres from Southern California. John Zepeda from Southern California. So I was thinking that they were going to show up, man. But look, I'm not going to lie, it was a decent crowd. I would say maybe close to halfway full. But no sellout not even close. And also, this fight was that Regis was clearly winning, but he had to work every minute of every round for that. So it was super competitive. Now, I agree with that. Man. Let's see. Lennox says, was there a big crowd? If not, those outfits got to have money laundering. No, I would say it was close to halfway full at its peak. That's what I would say. But the thing is this, man, when you have kids that are fighting like club level fights, and that's what some of these fights were, right? The couple of fights that were on the prelim show that was free, those were like club level type fights. So a lot of times when those fans show up, they're there specifically for one fighter, and then when that fighter fights, they bounce. They're not like really boxing fans. They're there for that person, and that's it. Chances, I hope Regis gets the push promotionally from here on, because I feel Regis should have been been a star by now. He's very likable and marketable. I agree with that, man, because he's got a fan friendly style, right? Like these guys that complain about boxers, right? They call them runners. Like, can we call Regis a runner? Like, no, he doesn't run. He operates right in the middle of the ring with that nice active guard, reacts to his fight, reacts to his opponent, and picks his shots, man. There should be no reason for fans not to get behind him. I think he's an exciting fighter. Next level here says, no Jose's up next for the WBC and the winner of that fight gets the winner of Ramirez Prograis. Ah, okay. The WC mandated defenses to keep that strap, which is good. Hey, well, that's good. I thought I was under the understanding that it was Teofimo and Sandro Martin fighting for to become the mandatory. But that's hey, thanks for the information, brother. I appreciate that. Gail Falcon Thalls here. How you doing, Gail? Thanks for stopping by. She says, G Funky, too cold for us Californians. Was it cold out there? I mean, I know it's chilly around this time of year in Southern California for them, you know. Up here in Northern California, we've had a couple of nights where it's been in the 30s. It's been cold. Let's see. I wonder if Zepeda's minor car accident rattled his cage, even though he wasn't injured. Maybe, I don't know. I hope he doesn't try to use that as an excuse though, and just says, "Hey, look, Regis was the better guy tonight." And I mean, look, Regis gave a ton of respect to Jose Zepeda after the fight, and I thought that was I really like when fighters do that because yes, this is a gladiator sport, you know, and the competitive juices get flowing. There's going to be some trash talk, and there was trash talk between the camps at the press conference and at the weigh-in, and that's natural again because that's the type of sport this is. But again, you see the respect that's given after. Um, I know this is a, I know this is a pipe dream, but I wish a lot of these fans would think that way, right? But again, the problem is a lot of these guys they've never competed for anything in their life, so they don't know what it's like. They don't know sacrifices that these guys make. They've never seen real training, right? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Because I've known people who have fought professionally in the amateur program. I've seen them what they've done in trainings, right? And it's not uh what you see in media day, right? Some of it is, but real training when no one's there, oh my god. Man, trust me. And again, making weight is probably one of the most difficult things in a training camp for some of these fighters. Very difficult. So, yeah, let's read here. Gail says, I agree with you 100% about showing respect to your opponent. Beating a tough opponent only makes your own win look even better. I mean, give Miss Gail a hand for that. Absolutely. That's the funny thing with a lot of these fans. Like, they think they come on here and they say something, they trash talk the fighters even after the fight's over. Like that doesn't make your win look good, you know? It just doesn't, you know. Robert Guerrero, what's up, man? Don't forget to hit the like button on the way in. And if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Guys, I'm going to be here for about another 15 minutes. And then I'll wrap this thing up. If anybody wants to give me a phone call, they can go right ahead. There's a number on the screen. I'll be taking some phone calls here. I want to get the voice of the fans out there. I want to talk to you guys, get get what's on your mind, you know. I've already given my thoughts on the fight, given the respect and credit to Regis and to everybody that picked Regis that came here when I did my prediction. You guys know I picked Chon to win. I thought he was going to catch him with something big, man, late in the fight. Man, you know, I don't know, man. I just felt like it was going to happen. You know, it was a gut feeling that I had with this one. And you know, I told you guys coming in that Regis he was probably going to be piling up points, you know, early on and in the middle rounds, and then I felt like later in the fight he was going to open up, and that's when John was going to get his opportunity. And like I said earlier, when I heard Regis's corner say, "Hey, look, man, we don't know if we're winning this fight, so let's go get these last three," you know, which I think is good advice because again, we know how boxing is. You could definitely get robbed in someone's backyard. But the reason why I got excited was because that's kind of what I was anticipating. Like they were going to make Regis go out there and try to get him out of there. And that's when Cepeda's at his best, when he's being attacked, you know. He was beat in the center of the ring all night. That's where Regis was beating him, right? He wasn't like physically beating him up, like, but he was winning on points cleanly in the center of the ring. He wasn't running away. None of that stuff, you know. So guys can't make that excuse, man. Like I can't stand that excuse when a guy boxes really well in the center of the ring, and then guys come on there and say, "Oh man, he's just running all night, man. I don't like that type of shit," you know. Like that is ridiculous, man. That is ridiculous. Let's see. Gail says, G Funky, your boxing gut needs some new probiotics. Well, Gail, I'll tell you this. When you got a gut like mine, sometimes you got to roll with it. This panza doesn't lie that often. But hey, it happens. You know, it happens. Let's see. Coinman says, so Regis claiming Zepeda will be a world champion one day. Does that imply Regis has plans to move up? It's amazing Regis can still make 139 as it is. No, I think he's gonna stay at 140. Maybe he doesn't plan on collecting all the belts. I don't know. Maybe he was just saying that just to kind of cheer Zepeda up because he gave him a tough fight, like he said. But from what I understand, they said that Regis hired a nutritionist for this camp, so maybe making the weight was a lot more comfortable for him in the past. You know, I know he fought at a catch weight a couple years back, or I think he might have missed weight. I think when he fought on the undercard of Tank and Leo Santa Cruz, I think he missed weight for that fight. I think he came in a couple pounds over 140. So yeah, it's no secret that he had issues making weight, but for this fight, he came in at 139, and looked fantastic in there. Like I didn't see him running out of steam at all. I felt like he was still fast and sharp throughout the fight. I even feel like Ray Mancini again. I just felt like he was terrible tonight. I feel like they just kind of threw. I don't know if they threw him in last minute or what, but I don't feel like he really researched Jose Zepeda enough. Some of the things he was saying, I'm like, Ray, like what the fuck, like. It's like he's got to go out there and let it all hang out, you know, get on the inside and cut the ring. Like that's not what Zepeda does. Zepeda is the counter puncher, man. When you make him take the lead, that's when he's completely out of his element, you know, and that's where he was getting beat because he was in the center of the ring with Regis, and Regis wasn't giving him a lot of opportunities to counter. Right, he was taking his time again, moving those hands side to side. Looking real sharp, man. I'm getting a phone call here, guys. Give me a second. All right, we got 562. You're live.
Oh, what's up, G Funky?
What's going on, Frankie? How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good now. Just got we're getting a little juices flowing. Seeing that.
Yeah, man. What were your thoughts on the fight, man? Let me know what you saw in there.
Well, I try to be as honest as possible. I picked Zepeda just because nobody was giving him a chance,
Mm-hmm.
and I seen that did me and you spoke? I said, Prograis, he fights with his hands down. He likes to do a lot of flashy things,
Yeah.
and he could get clipped. And he almost got buzzed in that, was it the ninth round?
I think it was around 10. Yeah,
That,
he got a little buzzed.
yeah, dude, he got caught with the shot coming in, but it's like I said with Zepeda, dude, he oh my gosh, it was frustrating watching them. It was damn near Zerto like.
Yeah.
It was just Zerto, JoJo, some of these guys. I mean, they just have these. You know what? I think it just was Zepeda's just slow feet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That was his problem. It just.
I'm glad you brought up Ramirez because I was not as frustrated with him. Well, no, I should say I was more frustrated with him because he is a front foot, high volume guy, right? And he wasn't letting the hands go against Bivol. And in this situation, I kind of knew that Regis was going to be outpointing him in the center of the ring early in the fight, because Zepeda, again, he's just not aggressive. He's
Mm-hmm.
not an aggressive type dude unless you get him in a situation where he has to be aggressive. Like when they talked to him about the fight with Baranchik, and he was like, look, man, dude came out throwing bombs. Like, I didn't have a choice. He hurt me in the first round, dropped me. Like, I didn't have a choice but to fight with this guy. In this case here, he said he was going to box from the outside, and unfortunately, he was in there with a better box. Unfortunately for him, he was in there with a better boxer tonight. And he got outpointed in the center of the ring. It was when Regis he started to get on the front foot. Was when Zepeda was getting more opportunities.
Yeah. Well, for all that kind of not let his hands go, at least he didn't do a Zerto. At least he went out on the shield. Whether it was so much as he decided to go for it all, or Regis just caught him.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that all the props go to Regis. He could have coasted. He could have made it ugly, ran around with his hands up in the last couple of rounds like some people do,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't. He made a statement. And that's what like we were talking about the other day, some of these guys with their Twitter wars, man. Like you got a real fighter here, and you don't see none of these guys. They don't come around. They're not watching. They don't. That's what I'm talking about, man. Like that's what's kind of frustrating sometimes. It's like where are these so-called fans at? And you see a guy giving his all, and even Zepeda gave his all.
Yeah.
And
we heard the kind of respect that Regis gave to him, like in a fight that these guys are going to say was a wash, right? Wow, I beat him every round.
No, man, I hate that talk.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous, dude. Some of these guys in there, it's a wash, and just utterly ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, that's the thing. Like when people are hard on one guy, and they predict him to win in spectacular fashion, they're going to give him every single round no matter what happens, and again, I'm not trying to make a case that Zepeda was winning. No, I only gave him 3 rounds. That's it out of 10. But again,
Yeah,
like you heard him say, he gave him the toughest fight,
he did. You could see his face was already bruised by the third round. Zepeda,
Mm-hmm.
Zepeda had a lot of success that first round.
Yeah.
He was like timing him, and then but you know what I noticed? Rigorou had missed a big left hand in the first round, and that's when I knew. I was like, oh, that's basically the entire fight was Rigorou trying to land that left,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually it found a home.
Let me read a comment here real quick. Robert Guerrero says Zepeda has lost in the big fights. I'm not sure how fair with the rest of the top 140. Now he lost to Ramirez, Prograis, and maybe can fight Ryan Garcia. I don't know if he'll get a shot at Ryan. It's going to be a tough road for him though, man. And we talked about this the other night, Frank, you and I, about how losses and what they can do to a fighter, and it's hard for a guy like Zepeda who is a really good fighter. He's got a difficult style to look good against. He's a southpaw counterpuncher, but not a big following, So like, where does he really go from here? And I know Regis was encouraging him to stay fighting, but yeah, I kind of agree with the commentary when they said this is probably his last opportunity at a world title, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I said that before, and then someone laughed and said, "What are you talking about? They're both going to be on a big stage." I said, "No, that's not the way it works, man. A loss like this, one guy goes. It's just like we've seen earlier with Ryder and Parker. People forget like how big, like to me, they're mid-level fights, mid-level guys, but the winner goes on to a bigger platform and bigger money fight, and the loser, goes back to maybe less money."
Right. And I'm glad you brought up Parker and Ryder. I forgot about that. I was so caught up in this fight that just happened, but man, what the hell did you think about that, bro? Like
I went to go make
ahead.
my hot pocket, came back, and I threw it at the TV. No, I'm just playing. It was disgusting. I said, "What the hell?" It looked like it was starting to heat up. It wasn't a terribly exciting, but you could tell they had somewhat skills. They weren't your typical Euro bums.
Right.
They actually had some slick styles.
Yeah,
I thought Parker was more of a puncher. People were claiming, but I don't know.
Well, he
And then he
beat up
quit.
his last opponent pretty bad. Knocked him down, I think, like 4 times in like 3-4 rounds or something like that. And look, he's a switch hitter. He's big, tall, got some good speed. Uh, but look, Ryder's a guy who, again, he's difficult to look good against too because he's small for that weight class, and he gets real low. He knows how to apply good pressure. And what I seen was first 2 rounds, I felt like Parker won those pretty clear. He turned it into a
Hmm.
close stance fight by switching to southpaw himself because Ryder's a southpaw, and I felt like he had good success there. Um, Ryder picked up the pressure rounds 3 and 4, and I gave him those rounds. And I put a tweet out there. I do this sometimes when fights get interesting. I say, hey, look, I think Parker having some trouble here with the pressure. He's not liking it, Next thing you know, I see
Hmm.
I hear the bell ring, and I'm back and forth because the White Franklin fight is on at the same time. So like I hear the bell ring
Yeah.
over here, so I turn my attention to the other TV, and then next thing you know, they're walking around. I see the trainers in the ring. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And like, so I had to go turn it up, and then like they're saying that's it, fight's over. I was like, what? Like, what the hell happened? And
Yeah.
then
Exactly.
yeah, he takes off his glove and he's like, show man. And like I don't know the extent of the injury, man, but damn, you gotta. Oh, I don't want to sound like.
It was the
Go ahead, go ahead.
Canelo sweepstakes. That
Right.
that was the Canelo sweepstakes fight, and so it was such a dud. To be honest, like I was kind of like you said, it was hard to pay attention because I was going back and forth. And to be honest, I didn't see anything spectacular. I said, "Oh, this is probably going to go some rounds." And like I said, I went to get my hot pocket, came back, it was over.
Yep.
it
And
was embarrassing.
and you know what I think was a big determining factor for Parker to say, I might as well just pack it in because I believe it was his right hand that he injured. And that's the best punch to throw against a southpaw. Now, if he would have said, I'm going to continue and then still fight in the southpaw stance, at least the power hand would be the left in that stance. So he could have just said, maybe not use the right as much, maybe kind of use it to probe and joust with him, and then try to set up my left. But he just said, fuck it, pretty much, you know? Um,
You're right.
yeah, that's tough, man, because again, you're in a situation where your livelihood is your hands, right? So if you damage your hand pretty good, you might not be able
Exactly.
to fight no more. But then at the same time, like you said, it was the Canelo sweepstakes. It's like, oh man, But I want to say this.
Yeah.
I want to say this real quick before I give it back to
Hmm.
you. Parker,
Okay.
fortunately for Parker, and this is not his fault. Like you said earlier, so many fans love to pick sides. They love to trash these fighters. There's a big section of fans that really love to talk shit about Demetrius Andrade. And
Boo boo. Uh huh.
right. And because this was the guy that he was supposed to move up and fight, and he said no to him, I feel like he got a little bit of that pre-anointing syndrome from these fans, like he was this bad dude that no one could fuck with. And look, Andrade ducked him, right? Kind of the same thing with Johnny Beck. But then look,
Okay.
they both
Right.
kind of laid a dud in their next fights. So I feel like that had a lot
Yeah.
to do with
No.
it.
I mean,
Go ahead.
yeah, and yeah, and that's what I don't understand. I don't think these people that say these things watch these fights.
No,
Like, I mean, I watch the fights, and I haven't seen anything that told me these people actually watch the fight. The only thing they want to say is Canelo's going to fight another Eurobum,
right.
you know. So with the Ryder, I mean, what I've seen is a good little fighter. I don't think he's any better than Caleb Plant, and Canelo should treat him like sliced bread and just you know obliterate him.
I think it's going to be a little interesting, and I mean, I'm Canelo's going to beat him. I think, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll say this because he is a southpaw and he is on the small side. Canelo's used to fighting guys that are much taller than him, especially recent years, right? Guys like Saunders are like 6 feet. Plant, I mean, Callum Smith was a little bit 6'4" or something like that. Bivol's 6 feet. Um, Now he's going to be fighting a guy that's around his height, or maybe even shorter. I'm not quite sure. So that's a different look. And again, being southpaw, he hasn't looked the best against southpaws. We just got to be honest. I mean, Saunders. Look, we can
Yeah,
say what
no,
we want
he's
about the
gonna be
Saunders. Go ahead.
he's gonna be like, yeah, I mean, he's gonna be like when watching Virgil Ortiz versus Nicholson.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that McKinson guy?
Oh, McKinson.
Very
Yeah,
similar,
yeah.
kind of these kind of tricky southpaws, Europeans. I mean, they give anybody problems,
Yep.
even Boo Boo for how much I don't like him. Look, he's gonna give everybody a problem. Like Janabek, that Bentley guy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like Janabek, but that guy Bentley, these guys are they're just awkward. They're tricky. There's always gonna be guys in boxing like that. Like think about Zepeda tonight. Had he wanted to, he could have really just dunked the joint out because that's what the Mancini was saying. I like Mancini. I heard you didn't like him, but I think he was accurate. He was saying like that's what Zepeda's trying to do is just survive. And I said I don't see that. I think Ruggero was he was making good points and then like you said bad points, but Ruggero had hurt him
Yeah, I feel like
and made him think
some of
twice.
his bad points were just really bad. You know, like cut the ring off and get on inside and just let it all hang out. Like that's just
Right,
not what this guy
like flat
does.
soda
Yeah, you know.
is just
So,
bad.
but hey, bro, I had another call. But I appreciate you,
Okay.
man, calling in, and
Yeah,
you
man.
know, always
Thank
good
you.
talking with you, brother. You know.
For
So,
sure, for sure.
yep. Have a good night, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, you too. All right.
All right, guys, that was Frank, my man Frankie. Good caller there, good subscriber. 214. I can only take one call at a time. So if you want to call back, the line is open. I want to say what's up to a few guys that just popped in. My man Run PMC. Run. My man right there. What's going on, bro? And Shane with Ice as well. Let me get this phone call, guys. All right, 214, you're live.
All right. About today's fights, I want to talk about Parker versus a Ryder. I actually thought it was a pretty good fight. You know, I thought Parker was doing pretty good before the stoppage. It's just that Ryder was starting to get to him, and
Mm-hmm.
that the later part of the last two rounds, like he was boxing really well in my opinion. His jab was really working for him. I mean, his movement was all right, good enough for him to get some points. But yeah, I thought it was starting to get. It's kind of like the Sparks fight. I thought it was starting to really heat up, and then he had the hand injury, according to him.
Yeah. No, I agree 100% with what you just said, man. I gave the first two rounds to Parker. I thought he was boxing pretty clean, and I like that because he switched to southpaw, right? Because I felt like in the open
Hmm.
stance there was a little bit of trouble there with the southpaw, and then when he decided to close things up by switching to lefty too, he had some good success against Ryder in the first couple rounds. And then when Ryder picked up the pressure, which I thought was really smart, right? Why wait like to round 8, 9 to start putting the pressure on a guy who's boxing, right? He started early, round 3, round 4. I feel like those were clear rounds for Ryder, and then the injury happened,
Right.
and yeah, just really an anticlimactic finish. But hey, he wins the fight. Now he's gonna be the guy who takes on Canelo early next spring.
Yeah. I think Ryder still has a future in this middleweight because I think the middleweight, Canelo is not going to be around too much longer, in my opinion, because I think he's got too much wear and tear on him. I think the Christian Mabilis, the Parkers, who else is out here? I think Jaime Munguia is going to move up to 168, but I don't think he's going to really be anything at 168 because I think he's going to be too sluggish there. Who else?
Berlanga is a guy who's young and could make some noise in a
Yeah,
couple of years.
Berlanga's there. Those are the guys that are really going to be there. And Caleb.
David Morrell too. Yeah.
I think David Morrell might just be the best guy there. In 2 years, he'll be the best guy there. And then maybe Christian Mabili and Parker are the second best guys there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's going to be the super middleweight division.
It's going to pick up for sure, man. That's a good point. I'm glad you made that point because a lot of people don't really want to give Canelo credit for cleaning up that division. They're like, I came in at a weak time. And look, it's not his fault. The guys who had the belts, he just went in there and cleaned it up. But no, you named off some really good names of some guys that are coming up, and then the next couple of years, it's going to be their turn. And yeah, Canelo. I mean, it's crazy. We talk about Canelo, and he's still in his early 30s, but damn, this dude's been fighting forever. Like
Yeah.
I've been on YouTube for 11 years, bro, and like some of my earliest videos were about Canelo when he was just starting to get hot, you know. So it's like when I put it in perspective, it's like, yeah, he's been around for quite a long time, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens. But what did you think of did you get a chance to see the Zepeda Prograis fight? What did you think of that?
I didn't get to see it. I only heard commentary of it.
Ah, okay.
I heard Zepeda did well the first round, but after that, it seemed to go downhill for him. Like every round I was listening to, like Prograis was picking it up with his jab. He was starting to land a lot. From what I was hearing, he was landing a lot of power shots.
Yeah, it was
He got
it was one of those fights where, yeah, I actually gave the first round to Zepeda. It seems like that's kind of a general consensus now that he won that first round. I'm starting to hear that a lot more as the show goes on. But yeah, then I gave Regis, let's see, rounds 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are all for Regis. Round 7, I gave to Zepeda. I felt like that was a good round for him. The next 2 rounds, 8, 9, I gave to Regis. And then round 10 was Zepeda's best round. I felt like he did catch Regis' attention with something in that round. And then Regis, recovered. Really good action in that round too. And then again, round 11, it was picking up again. And then Zepeda got hurt, and Ray Corona decided to stop the fight, and Regis gets the knockout. But even after the fight, even with Regis winning so many rounds, and probably more on some other people's scorecards, he said that, look, Joan Zepeda gave me the hardest fight of my career,
wow, really?
Yeah, that's what he said. He goes, he told me, he said, look, I don't want you to quit fighting. You should keep fighting. I think you could be a world champion. Like, you're really good. He's like, man, dude, you're good, man. You're really good. You gave me the hardest fight of my life,
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, well, let's see. Maybe he'll get another opportunity, because I think after that Jack Catterall fight,
That might
I
be a
think
vacant title too. Yeah, it's a good point.
Josh Taylor going to be moving up.
Mm-hmm.
That's if he doesn't lose to Jack Catterall.
Right. No, I agree with you. He could be moving up to 147, and then that belt is going to be free unless he loses. Then Catterall will have it. But being that he's a top-ranked fighter, yeah, he might get a crack at the WBO. He might get one more shot. Who knows? Anything else you want to touch on, bro?
No, I'm good.
All right. Did you get a chance to see White, or did you not care for that fight?
No, I didn't really watch it, but I heard it was a good fight. I'm looking forward to his next fight. That's what I'm really interested in.
Yeah, it sounds like they're gonna run it back with AJ. I mean, that's just an awful fight.
Their first fight was actually pretty good, though.
It was good, but I mean, White was a much fresher fighter then. Like, he's been knocked out a couple times since then, and
Yeah, true.
he just doesn't look the same to me. I just got to be quite honest with you. I think he's shot at this point.
Ooh, yeah.
Dude, this fight was tough. I'd never seen Jermaine Franklin fight,
Mm-hmm.
and I had it even after 10, and I gave the last 2 rounds to White to get the win on my scorecard. There's a lot of people I've seen on social media saying that at a draw. So yeah, this is a guy that he shouldn't be going life and death with, and we can say what we want about Joshua. Yeah, he lost to Usyk twice, but it's not like he got beat up in those fights, So I feel like he's gonna put a beating on Dillian White. That's just my opinion. But hey, I appreciate your call, man. Good call. And hope you, if you're not subscribed, hope you subscribe to the channel, man. And give me a call back again next weekend, bro.
All right, I will.
All right, man. Well, you take it easy, man. All right. Good phone call there. Let's give these guys a hand, man. All right. Some good phone calls. So now I'll take one more call, and then we'll wrap this thing up. I want to say what's up to my guy, Mad Dog H, and one of my better subscribers. Round 1 says Regis was very classy after the fight. Yeah, he was, man. That's what it's all about, man. That's what this thing is all about, man. When these athletes compete at this level of the game, they have respect for each other, man. Yeah, things are said in the workup of a fight, obviously, to sell it, and then a lot of these fans, they buy into it, and then they get into it themselves. But then after the fight's over, they don't want to show respect, they don't want to give credit to the other guy. And in a fight that a lot of people, I'm sure, are thinking was lopsided, right? And it was lopsided on my card too, but the rounds were competitive because, again, you heard what Regis said. And you seen Regis, again, was cut. His nose was bleeding. His left side was all marked up from getting hit with left hands. So, yeah, these guys, they know what's up, man. And that's why I kind of switched the direction of this channel, because before I would have said some things, right, to some of these guys, but at the end of the day, I just understand these fucking guys never competed for a thing in their life. These guys probably couldn't throw a proper punch, but they want to talk shit about boxers online all day, every day. Like this. That's the funny thing, and to me. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna probably shut this thing down then, since I'm not getting another call. Let me go ahead and take down the number here. Yeah, if anybody's new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, right? Like it says down there in the bottom right. All right, if you want to follow me on the social medias, they're up top. My Instagram, my Twitter. If anybody wants to donate to the channel, there's the Cash App if you would like to do that. That would be greatly appreciated. If not, it's all good. Went and got myself some new equipment from some of the money that I've been making here on YouTube to, again, enhance the channel. I'm going to be heading out to more fights in person to be covering them. So I got myself some equipment to do that. So again, new things are coming, guys. And it's all because of you. This doesn't work because of you. I wouldn't have phone lines and a new mic and lights and webcams and all this other stuff without you guys, man. So I appreciate you all. Let's give you guys a hand for that. All right. And again, the main event of the night, I was dead wrong. Oh, man. Let's do it one more time, just because I was wrong. One more time. All right. Anybody remember that sound? Who knows where that sound came from? Real quickly before I shut it down. Anybody in the chat? How did who recognizes that sound effect right there? Let me know if you recognize it. Classic show. That's actually a show that I was in the studio audience for back in the day. That was a fun experience, man. I gotta get my VCR out and my old TV. I think I have it on VHS, the episode when it came on. Maybe I'll show you guys one of these days. But yeah, there we go. My man, round one says the price is right. That's it, my man. You got it. Oh man, love you guys, man. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm gonna wrap this thing up. It's getting pretty late over here, 10 p.m. on my time. Well, actually 11. So I know for some of you guys that are in the Midwest, down south, East Coast, I know it's later for you guys, and especially some of you guys are over in the UK that were here, man. You guys, man, you guys are some big time supporters, man, at G Funky Boxing. I appreciate the support. But yep, I was wrong on this one. Credit to Regis Prograis. He is the new WBC super lightweight champion of the world. So, all right, guys, we'll see you guys on the next one. We got, again, great fights coming up next weekend. Chocolatito El Gallo Estrada, number 3. The next weekend, Teofimo Lopez versus Martin. Also that same day, we got Fernando Lopez versus Josh Warrington. Whoo, man, we got some fights, guys. So, again, prediction shows will be here. I'll be taking phone calls. You said it's almost 1 a.m. over where you're at, round one. Yeah, I know it's late for you guys, man. So I appreciate you all for being here. I really do, man. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm out.